Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. The Buck Mountain Loop is an 8-mile, multi-use trail located within Silver Falls State Park in Oregon. It's a bit away from the big crowds of the park and can be a good place to find some peace or have some fun on your mountain bike. You may run into some horses on occasion as well. You'll climb a total of 1,100 feet, starting around 1,300 feet elevation at the trailhead and hitting a peak elevation around 2,200 feet over halfway into the loop. To get to Howard Creek Trailhead, where this hike starts, make your way to the Silver Falls State Park on Oregon Highway 214 and turn east onto the road that is opposite of the South Falls Day Use Area turnoff. You'll round a bend and drive past a park booth, which has a kiosk you can stop at and buy your $5 day use pass for the park. Once you have that, continue on turning left at the next junction to head up the road towards the campgrounds. You'll pass up the turnoffs for the campgrounds and ranches until you see the turnoff to the left for the Howard Creek Trailhead and Horse Camp. Veer left onto this short stretch of gravel and turn into the parking area on the left before the Horse Camp Loop. We already covered picking up your state park pass, so any other equipment to bring might be related to your intended activity on this trail. It is very bikeable, so you might be bringing your bike and some protective gear. This is also a great trail for berries. You can harvest salmonberry in the late spring or early summer, and salal in the late summer or early fall. When picking salal, remember to roll it off the stem or snip it off with something. Otherwise, you often just pull the skin off. Head back towards the road you came in on to start your hike. You'll follow that road towards the horse camp until you see a trail jump off the road to the right just before the road starts its loop. Hop onto this trail, which will take you all the way up to the beginning of the loop after passing a couple of signs guiding your way. You can take this loop either way, but this guide will take you through it clockwise. To do that, head left at this junction, starting the Buck Mountain Loop Trail. If you're bringing your bike to this trail, I would suggest going counterclockwise instead for a more fun ride. There are muddy areas on the southwest slope of this loop that would be annoying to stop for on your descent if you went clockwise. Stroll up this mostly gentle, steady climb up the northeast side of the loop. You'll pass a couple of fire roads that branch off on the left as you go. Just continue on the well-marked trail. There may not be any epic vistas or waterfalls on this trail, but sometimes you can really go for some solitude and serenity in the forest. You can get that here, especially if you hit it on a weekday. If after many miles have gone by and you're starting to feel like you've had enough trees and serenity, try to remember that boredom is most often just a symptom of lack of attention. Slow down and try to notice what you're missing rather than race to the end. Eventually, you will come to a junction with the park perimeter trail where you will take a right to stay on the Buck Mountain Loop Trail. You then descend a bit and wrap up this half of the loop at a couple bridges that cross Howard Creek and pass by a junction with the Catamount Trail. The loop continues as you climb on the trail out of the Howard Creek Ravine up to the highest point on this loop close to the junction with the Lost Creek Trail. Here's a little hiking tip. If there's a bunch of branches laid down blocking a side trail, it means don't go that way. Also, if you're on a seldom traveled trail, prepare to clear some spider webs. Stay to the right here at the Lost Creek Trail junction to stay on the Buck Mountain Loop and continue on as you descend the southwest side of this loop. You'll pass by a couple more well-signed junctions with the Smith Creek Trail and a cutoff trail. Just stay to the right as the signs indicate to stay on the loop that will take you back to the loop starting point. This section has a few muddy spots where water crosses the trail even in the summer as you descend. You pass the Howard Creek Loop Trail just before you cross Howard Creek again. This time the trail just passes over a hidden culvert, so you may not even notice the creek unless you look closely. Soon after this crossing, you'll find yourself back at the start of the loop, where you turn left to head back to the Howard Creek trailhead. Let's briefly go over the ratings for this trail. First, the terrain. This is a wide, well-used and maintained trail. It gets 1 rock out of 5 for terrain, mostly in consideration of all the horse poop you need to dodge. For the elements, there's very little exposure or other considerations, so 1 cloud out of 5 for elements. 8 miles is the high end for an average length day hike. We'll give it 3 boots. And finally, let's rate the climb. There aren't any big ascents on this hike, but you do cover a decent amount of elevation as you round Buck Mountain. So 2 mountains for climb. Well, that's it for this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I hope I have or will soon help you pick your next trail to explore. I scouted this trail in August of 2021, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any new features or changes people might like to know about, please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. Remember, a picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or video. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.